Welcome. If you're watching us, you've discovered three dudes and a lady. Join us for a little motivation, a little inspiration, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I am Mike Jones from the Commonwealth of Virginia, and my gratitude this morning is actually putting my pride aside and asking for help to fix my computer that I've been struggling with for the last 2 weeks. So I have an appointment today to get it done.
Very good. Good morning, folks. Welcome. My name is Earl Rule. I hail out of the beautiful state of North Carolina, and my gratitude is for a group of people that I associate with on Wednesday nights, a men's fellowship group. We talk about certain things, but the friendship that we develop and the time that we share together means a lot to me.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. My gratitude, are you sitting down? Get your seatbelt on, helmet, parenthood. Sometimes it's so refreshing to hear that parents are very, very good at what they do. And it gives me renewed sense of hope to know that our children are going to be just fine in this crazy ass world.
Hey guys, it's Christine Wright hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude for the day, it was going to be parenting, but since Jay took that one,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's all good. I will choose travel and vacationing. Like we just booked our vacation for the summer. I'm super excited. Um, so today Jay Shetty talked about no mud, no lotus, right? It was in reference to growing pains. Talked about change and how uncomfortable, even when we want it, it could still be uncomfortable, right? But what if we viewed the challenging times through a different lens, right? He talked about the lotus flower and how it grows in swamps in the wild, right? But it's growing out of mud, right? And life can be like that, right? When we try to level up or grow, there's going to be difficulties, right? That's why they always say embrace the journey, right? Life is not always going to be easy or pretty. And unfortunately, us as humans, we always want instant gratification, right? We want it right now. But he said we want the before and after photos and nothing in between, right? We want the before and we want to show you the after and be done, right? But discomfort is a part of growth, right? When we can understand that good things come from the difficulties, if we're embarking on the new journey to improve our life, understand that there's going to be hardships in that process, right? It's part of the process of growing into the person that we're supposed to be, right? And the journey is not always comfortable. There's a lot of pivots or twists and turns that we go through in any business, any part of our lives, right? It's like you could have a kid who's just becoming a teenager, right? That is a journey in itself. So we have to embrace the whole process, not just the end result, right? What do you guys think? Comments?
Well, I you got to look at it as a path. Growth is a path that we're our journey. And you could argue, I've said this before, about having guardrails on that journey so you don't fall off that path. Can it be painful at times? Yeah, it can be painful at times, but it's a lesson learned. And sometimes we have a real hard time accepting it, even though we go through our challenges in life because there will be challenges. But when there's challenges, there's successes, and that's an important thing that we have to acknowledge, because growth is important in everyone's lives, adults, children. Growth is important. It's learning how to accept the challenges, what we learned from it, and moving forward and staying on that path to what it is that we need to get through in life, whether it's our career, our home life, whatever it is. We need to follow that path.
For sure. Yeah. Growth is definitely a journey. And we need to embrace the process during it, right? Because we are becoming, who do you want to be at the end of it, right? It's not necessarily what do you want to accomplish, but who are you becoming in that
Right.
process?
What kind of a person do you want to be? Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what is it that you want? ask yourself, what is it that you want? And what can we do to accomplish to get you there? Or, ask yourself that. And if you've got anybody in your family that's willing to help you or a best friend, sometimes that's a hard question to ask because it's hard to admit it, but and sometimes we get stuck in our own heads saying, what is it do I want to be? And we look for the signs that we need to follow that in itself can be painful sometimes in itself.
For sure. Jay, Mike?
We often hear the phrase dream, struggle, victory. And the harder the struggle, sometimes the sweeter the victory.
Well said.
But it's not dream, pop it in a microwave and get the results.
Right. We do not live in a microwave society, even though we want to.
And I've often said that the microwave oven may have destroyed the families in America. Think about mealtime. Mealtime when you were kids as opposed to mealtime, maybe now, maybe not, but go ahead. I'll just get something later. I'll just have leftovers. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question or statement or both.
Everything in between, right?
So Earl, you said take a good look in the mirror and ask yourself these questions. What if the mirror could speak back?
Well, if the mirror could speak back, ask yourself, how do you challenge it? Are you up to the challenge?
Well, I'm gonna offer this. The mirror does speak back.
It can.
It's you.
That's right.
Mirror was always truthful too. Think of the
Mirror
fairy
is
tales.
always true.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
I don't know why I thought of this phrase. I heard this phrase later in life versus earlier in life. Not my monkey, not my circus.
Mhm.
I see this that no mud, no lotus. It took me just a bit to really grasp into what was trying to be said here because the title alone, I'm not so sure really meant something to me. I needed the explanation of what it is. So I think the biggest component out of this is the mud, no mud. And I kind of think in terms for me, my angle is the mud is the base of our life, how we operate our life. It is mud, it's murky. There's all this stuff that's always taken place within the base of our life. Okay. And we're trying to see what happens. The lotus that grows out of it sometimes can turn into a beautiful flower. We have to be able to recognize, I think, in my mind, what Jay's telling us is all this mud is what life really is. But if we embrace it and truly embrace it and realize the good and bad both exist, then sometimes beautiful things come out of that and you don't realize it. Okay. That's pretty daggone deep. That's that is very surface level statement, no mud, no lotus. But what it really means represents, I think, who we all are on a daily basis. So the mud can be a very light and shallow mud, then it can be a deep pothole mud. Okay. And how do we react to it? Are we able to say, yeah, that's what it is? I don't know about you guys, but I suffer greatly on this because when that mud is thick, I start pointing fingers. I start projecting the wrong. I start seeing the negativity out of it. And sometimes I can't say to myself, hey, slow down a second, breathe. You're still alive, your health is still well, and so is that with the people around you. It can be workable and solved somehow. And I tell you, making mud pies is something that I did as a kid, but I never saw any resemblance in it. But I think the thing of it is, we make mud pies every day. It is what we do with these mud pies that transcends the good out of it if we allow it. So that's kind of my take on it.
I think part of that mud too is throwing it back at our own faces, right? Beating ourselves up. And then once you have the flour, how long do you stop to enjoy it before you move on? Because
Right.
you can get stuck in both places.
Yeah. When you think about it, okay, so here's an example that I heard a couple weeks ago. Somebody was interviewing Tom Brady. We can argue about his career. I mean, he was a phenomenal quarterback, right? He did
Yes.
phenomenal things, right? And somebody asked him at the end of his career how he felt. Like, most of us would probably, I'm guessing, feel like accomplished, like, oh wow, I accomplished all these things. He said, I felt like, is this all? This is all. This is it. And think about it, like what he did was amazing, right? And you would think that he would feel more accomplished or something. But it's like sometimes we don't, like you said, Mike, we don't stop and smell the flower or look at the flower before we moving on to the next, right? Because we live in a microwave society. So we are like, oh, this is it. This is what I got from this. Okay, now let's move on to the next, right? We don't take time to rest there. Like
Yeah.
just take that moment and breathe in for a minute and figure out, oh yeah, I accomplished this. This is big. This is a big deal, right?
Right.
Such a great point there that you make, Christine, because I think probably Tom Brady can't recognize the greatness because he did it and because he was capable of doing it. So
Mhm.
he didn't see the greatness out of that. He was, yes, there were so many accolades that came along with that, all the Super Bowls, all the MVPs, the longevity. His mind was, you know, I don't see the big deal out of this because I'm doing it. And Mike, to your strong credit of recognizing, well, when we realize something beautiful comes out of it, do we take time to do it? And I agree with you, Mike. There are times that you can get caught up in, oh man, I'm freaking awesome. And you can't get out of that state. And man, that mud gets darker by the second and thicker by the second.
We talk about leaderboards a lot in our business and accomplishments, but also the phrase, what have you done for me lately?
Yes, right? Well said.
Yes.
Well said.
Right. And when Christine mentioned Tom Brady, did he have a very good career? He did. A lot of it with the Patriots, and then he went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But was it a perfect career? No. Did he have his struggles during that career? I mean, did he have his ups and downs like everybody else? Of course he did. He got himself out of the mud because he used the system that was provided to him to, the win games, but to keep himself fresh each and every day. And toward the end of his career, he knew that, his body was trying to tell him something. You know what? This is it. It's time to get off the playing field and do something else. And sometimes it's hard to do that when you're an athlete because you're right. It happens like that. But then, you move on to something else. But also, like what you guys just said, what have you done for me lately? And meaning, have you given back to your community? What do you do off the field? So I think that can hit some points as well.
Think about it too, Brady was a sixth round draft pick.
Mhm.
Yes, he was.
Michigan.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And so he didn't start with the flower, right? He started in the mud. And maybe he didn't appreciate what he really did because he always saw something else. It's always the struggle. So the flowers were there, but he kept pushing himself to instead of
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
but Mike also
What did Mike? What did Nikki Glazer say at his roast? Drew bled so he could play.
Yeah.
Drew
but
Bledsoe.
Yeah.
but Mike,
Drew bled so he could play.
I wanted to bring up one thing what you just said about Brady. Yeah, he was 6th round back from Michigan, but the thing is, he listened to his coaching. He got through the mud by listening to the coaching, doing what he was told to do, and at least moving up that ladder to be the elite player that he was. It wasn't easy at first. Did he make the mistakes? Of course he did. But he got through the mud to get into a better playing field so he can prove to everybody the person that he really is.
Well, let me muddy
So,
the water for you. Did he cheat? Sure he did. Oh, sorry. Never mind, Earl. I apologize.
oh,
Oh, Jay, we're gonna get comments for that, I think.
No, sorry. That was meant to be funny. Listen, he phenomenal individual. Do not take anything away from him. That was purely comedic. Sorry, I apologize now.
But so think about it, like if we can embrace the journey part of it, even the suckiness of it, because it's not always roses and rainbows, right? Because some days are going to be harder than others. Some days are going to feel like a breeze, and it's going to
Yeah.
be peaceful and like it's just everything's going to flow in the right direction. And then there's going to be other days where there's mud being thrown at us, right? But how do we embrace those days, the mud throwing days, right? Compared to the peaceful days? Like, how do we get through those, right?
Oh yeah. Haven't we within our own master agency, how many times have we heard this line over the years? Embrace the suck.
Yes.
How many times
Yeah.
has that been said to us?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's not like we haven't had any forewarning, and
Exactly.
that's one of the beauties of what we do, where we do it, is we have plenty of forewarning. It is when it hits us, can we accept that we heard the forewarning, and how do we handle what's going on?
Right.
I want to throw another example in there. And we're not just talking about sports athletes. We're talking about other occupations too. And I can give you an example of this. I've got a friend from high school who's been who's been a teacher for the longest time, and she does a phenomenal job. And she just got promoted to vice principal. And teachers don't get enough respect for what they do. They don't. But for what she's been through, the growing pains of being a teacher, taking the steps up, and then advancing and ramping up her education as well, being in the position where she is. Does she have some challenges? Yeah, she's a single mom. And any single moms out there, they could tell you, no day is easy out there. So any occupation, whatever it is you do business, will there going to be challenges? Will you get stuck in the mud? Yes, you will. But it's how you get yourself out of it and have that mindset say, I'm not stuck. I'm going to get this done. I will do it. With possible affirmations and plenty of meditation, anything's possible.
Absolutely.
Here's the
Go ahead.
question. Was the promotion for flour or was it going deeper in the mud? Because she's a teacher. Teaching and being a principal are two different professions.
Well,
And
if it's in the same
more
school,
admin leadership and yeah.
right, but she proved to herself and to others that she was going to be a true leader. The thing
Okay.
is she the flower? I believe she is.
Okay.
And she's also one of my clients. Okay. But the thing is, I keep in touch with her, and she gave me the good news about about what she's doing, and I was tickled pink to hear that. So I was like, nice.
Now
What
you
does the
hear people
phrase
getting
tickle pink
promotions
mean?
that it's not the best thing that could happen to them, right?
Sorry.
Don't rub it in, Jay.
Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But anyways, hey, listen, guys, I think it's pretty obvious to see that we're not licensed therapists. Evidently, we can get off the rails pretty quick. And as Earl has always pointed out, putting guardrails up on your path is probably one of the smartest things that we can do. It also does help us guide with even today's topic, no mud, no Lotus. That topic comes from the app Calm through Jay Shetty. Recommend that everyone that listens to it at least go to Calm, buy it, get into the app, and explore it. It's awesome. Buy Jay Shetty and learn to listen to these things. We can apply these things to our everyday life.
And please, folks, stay on your path. Try not to hit any guardrails. And please come back, like, share, and subscribe for more content so we can have you back and enjoy more. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.
It is.